welcome back to lesson 5, where we are going to talk about how to write awesome ad copy and how to make your text ads really stand out. So let's jump in here and talk about some different best practices when it comes to the actual ad text that you set up when you create your ads. So first things first, you really want to understand first what stage your customer is in when they're seeing this ad. So it's really, really important concept to grasp before you ever start writing ads in the first place. Like, are they online looking for more information? Are they just researching? Are they ready to buy? And if you remember those motivators, those moments, those micro moments, remember we talked about that just a little bit at the beginning of this course, you want to know exactly where they are at and what they need at that point. And then you're going to write your ad copy accordingly. And then, of course, you're going to use those keywords to basically distinguish and separate out what you want people to do. So if they're in that buying stage, well, then obviously your calls to action should drive them into like a buy now type of page. If they're in the information stage and they're just trying to research and learn more, then you're going to use calls to action that match those motivations. You also want to try to pre-qualify your traffic with your ad text. So a lot of clients and businesses that we work with, they also will try to use the ad text to weed out people that they don't want. So, you might put like a starting price or something, or just anything that you can do to, make sure that the wrong people aren't getting to as well. So, if you go after really high-end types of clients, then you might want to try to qualify those clicks, because remember, you're paying for clicks. And so you don't want to waste money on people who are not the right target market. You don't want anybody and everybody clicking on your ad. You want the right person to be attracted to your ad. So just remember that. And remember, again, when you're planning things out, to try to sort your keywords by, phase, buying stage, customer journey, and those types of things, so that you're hitting people at all different stages of the journey, and you're sending them to the right pages on your website, the right types of landing pages, and that your ad copy really mirrors what stage they're in their journey. So of course, some other things here are just making sure that the ad headline contains the actual keyword. So this is another reason that you need to tightly group all of your keywords into these separate ad groups, because it's going to be really hard to include the keyword in every ad headline if you got a whole bunch of different keywords, right? So make sure that the ad headline has the keyword or the phrase in the headline. Make sure you include the keyword in the copy, like the actual description somewhere as well. And then also you need to include the keyword in the display URL. So again, we're going to have this theme throughout this entire course of relevancy and matching up your keywords to the ad, to the display URL, to the landing page. So make sure it's included in all of those places. The thing that we just kind of talked about was making sure it's obvious that your solution is the one that they're looking for. And then give them a reason to click. Make sure you've got a really strong, clear call to action on there. Stay away from learn more. I would use more stuff like, free consultation or 20% off or buy now, something that's very, very specific and tells them what you're going to want them to do as soon as they click. So those are just some good baseline rules for writing ad copy. So let's talk about some fun tips that I have for you guys as you're writing your ad copy. So one tip that I have for you to share is that it's really good if you can include some kind of specific numbers or statistics or anything like that in your headlines and descriptions. This is like copywriting 101. When you pick up a magazine, anytime you pick up a newspaper, you guys know what kind of headlines really stick out and sell. This is one of those kind of baseline rules that if you have a very specific number, something just, like a statistic, it does tend to grab people's attention a little bit more. So in this example, obviously we have, very specific prices and rates, because that's usually what people are interested in. So that's going to really draw people in and grab their attention. Here's another example and another tip that I want to share is that if somebody is typing something in, you don't always necessarily have to, put exactly what they wrote in your ad headline, but you can actually just mirror what their objective is. So in this particular example, somebody's searching for they want to know how to sell their car. And so you're basically just flipping that around and saying, hey, we'll buy your car, and so that's a really great example of how to mirror the searcher's objective, and really, really think about what it is that they are saying and wanting, instead of just, taking the keywords verbatim and putting them in the ad headline. And here's another example of the keyword relevancy and making sure you're using it in the ad appropriately. Make sure you don't forget to put it in the display URL. Now, one thing I want to point out here about display URLs is that these URLs do not have to be actual working URLs. They are just fake. They're just on display, and they're really helpful for, if you don't have a page or your landing page isn't actually, it doesn't actually contain the keyword, which is great if it does, but if it doesn't, you can add as many keywords as you need in the display URL section. And I'll show you exactly how to do that and where to do that when we go through a campaign setup. But I just want to make sure to share that tip with you as well. And this tip is a really fun one that a lot of people don't know that this is something you can even do within Google AdWords. But these countdown customizers are a really great addition to your account if you do anything like sales, if you have a limited time event, if you have, just like a big clearance event, or, just anything where you need urgency, where you need to, have anything that's date based. You can add this right into your ad. I'm actually going to record a separate video and do a walkthrough on how to set this up. So I will show you step by step exactly what to do. But I just wanted to throw this out there when you're writing your copy to keep this in mind, that this can really help increase conversion rate. It's really interesting to see those conversion rates really start to jump up towards the end of a sale as the urgency really increases and the countdown timer gets close to being at 0. So like I said, I'll walk you through this in a later module, but that's a really fun one to use. And this is a big one right here, this keeping your ads hyper local. If you're able to, if you are a brick and mortar, if you service a specific confined geographic location, anything like that, please try to keep your ads hyper local, or just basically, in layman's terms, include the city name in the ad headline. I promise you they will perform better. This is a very proven tactic. So for example, here in this example, the user typed in Austin, Texas cosmetic surgeon. And the ad that's probably performing best here, because it does every time we've ever tested this, is the one that includes the word Austin along with the keyword in the headline. So I recommend always adding the city name along with the primary keyword in the headline, if at all possible, if you're a local business. Now, this obviously doesn't apply for e-commerce or online only businesses, but it does work really well if you service anyone in a local brick and mortar. All right. Here's a really good ad example. I just want to share an example of something, like an ad that's good and an ad that's not so great. So this is a good ad example. This is for LASIK surgery. So that was the search term, is LASIK surgery. And here they use the keyword in the headline. They have a very clear call to action to get a free screening and find out if they're a candidate. And they're also making really good use of ad extensions, which I am going to be covering in detail with you guys in the next lesson. So I think it's just a really good, solid ad for a local business. Now here's an example of an ad that's not so great. So in this example, someone typed in Ford Focus brakes, and the ad that pops up is an ad for test driving a 2013 Mazda 3. So, this really is not going to be the best use of that advertiser's ad dollars, because this person who's searching for Ford Focus brakes is not probably going to convert on their ad. They're obviously, probably trying to order some brakes or brake parts or something like that online for their Ford, and they don't really seem to be in the market for a new car. So in this case, I just think it's a really bad use of their ad dollars. All right, and I wanted to also share this example with you. This is a really clever example. You can be very creative with this ad. Now, this is an example of a brand jacking campaign. So this is where the advertiser, in this case Samsung, is actually bidding on their competitor's keyword for the iPhone 6s. And they wrote some really clever ad copy to try to win people over. So the ad says, when they typed in iPhone 6s, it says awkwardly, you mean S6. So that's a Samsung phone. And I really like that angle. Now, typically these types of ads don't always convert at as high of a rate as someone who is naturally typing in like best smartphones, or they hadn't already decided on what phone they wanted. Maybe in this case it seems like that could be the case. So they don't typically convert as well, but it is a very aggressive strategy that can work well for some brands who are trying to go after a specific competitor. So I just thought that was really neat and wanted to share that with you. So those are my basic tips for writing good, winning ads. And I'm going to spend more time talking about this throughout the rest of the course. We're going to be talking about writing ads and ad copy and just different tips for different types of businesses. So this is not the only time we're going to cover this topic, but I just wanted to make sure I covered the foundation, the basics here. And then as we go, as we build campaigns and we build out, search campaigns, and we talk about shopping ads, and we just talk about all kinds of other types of ads, we'll continue to talk about ad copy and ad text. I will help you guys with your ads. If you need help, just post in the Facebook group. If you want me to take a look at any ads that you're writing, if you need help coming up with some good copy, please let me take a look at those, and I'll also showcase some good examples and some bad examples when we do our weekly office hours. So I hope that's helpful for you guys when you get started writing your ads. And next up, I will see you in lesson 6, where we're going to talk about ad extensions.